Welcome back to Satisfactory. As you can see in the upper right hand corner, we have completely delivered all of the things that we need to deliver phase 3. Yay! Took our time. We went through phase 3 step by step. We automated some things. We set up some blueprints. And now we're rushing into the next phase with all of our excitement and enthusiasm in tow. I'm really enjoying this game, by the way. Got our new Mark II blueprint machine down there, which we'll be using, no doubt. If nothing else, it means we can do 4x4 blueprints by letting things lap outside the walls a little bit. 6x6 is going to be a lot better, but I think that's like way down the road. So, shall we pull? Oh, before I do this, the boxes that I set up here, I put in exactly the right amount to exactly match it. So the only one of the things, I think it's the frameworks there. Those continue to get built, and those built up like 6 tokens last time. However, the engines, I don't know if this is a bug or if I made a mistake, but I came back to find I was 16 short. Right, no, not 16 short. I was 8 short because I had to put in 16 engines. Chased out 16 engines to go in here to finish this up. I don't know what happened to the other 8 of the output. It shouldn't be anywhere it can get stuck here. I mean, it just goes up here, and there's a smart splitter. And I'm not seeing anything stuck in the splitter or in the little hubby down there or anywhere else. It shouldn't have sent it out. So I don't know where the other 8 went. Maybe while I was setting it up, I grabbed them off the belt as I was rerunning something. Anyway, we are ready to go. And let us step around to the console, and it's time. Hello, Mr. Space Evader. So we are completed. Seal it. Ready for dispatch. Let's send it. That was the achievement for completing phase 3 for the first time. Release. Boom. Blow away the clouds so we can see the pretties. And use all that material we just sent them to something. Adding on these sides. Extending the whole ring. Ooh, nice. I like this. It's actually building it rather than just having the whole thing change suddenly. Okay, so we've put it in some kind of a framework there. I think that's literally skybox. I think that is so high up, and where we go in the world, it is straight above us. So, aww. And the cloud cover's back. Darn it. So let's see, what have we got here? It's like something is going to go in there. Looks like the framework for a build. connections of some sort. Those are mounting points for something. On the one hand, I want to push on through to get this thing completed, and on the other hand, I want to enjoy each phase on its own with its own technologies. I mean, how would I have gotten this good at handling the jetpack if I had the improved ways of hovering around? So it's tempting at this point to do one of several things. I could pick up everything in the world and redesign it with these new blueprints. I could lock down what this base is building and have it dump stuff into depots and move on to another place. As we see on the map, I put up some radars, so we now have radar coverage of a lot of this area. I'm not sure why that's there. I finally figured out what that is. There's a radar here which is producing this circle, but the higher altitude you are above the ground, the farther you see. But apparently, this is at a lower altitude. And for the things on the right, apparently the world left edge overlaps to the right edge. That's kind of weird. Come on, guys. Here must be the same thing, where this is fairly low altitude, and at one point I was over here. But you'll notice that with the radars going, I can see where all of the stuff is, including these nice pure quartz, which are here. I'm betting those are below ground in a cave somewhere. I'll find the entrance to that cave. Those are limestone nodes I thought I'd picked up. Oh, here's the limestone I picked up. We have more pure limestone up there, and sulfur. Okay, so putting up radars is a great way for us to work out what's going on. The radar coverage is circular, which means that my radar ought to be on. Basically, if you think of a hex grid, okay, put your radars at the vertices. No, you put your radars at the center of the hexes, which means your radars are on the corners of equilateral triangles. Let's see, if I strung my power along the vertices of a hex grid, I believe that also gives us places where we can put our radars on the hex grid on a regular range is on. I mean, some of these, this is a huge range. The other thing about using a hex grid, or even approximately hex grid, is that each power line, by definition, either has west, northeast, and southeast, or east, northwest, and southwest, and that's the right number of connections. So it is tempting at this point to redesign my grid of sky power, even though that would completely shut me down until I got it done. It's tempting. Not tempting enough. But maybe in a future playthrough, I can start off thinking in terms of a grid like that, a hex grid of power instead of the rectangular grid, where some of my connections here are in the pseudo-diagonal of 2 horizontal and 1 vertical. So 2 and 1, we'll call it a knight's move. So in a hex grid, you've got horizontal connections and you've got knight's moves that are 2 north and south and 1 east and west. And it's not a perfect hexagon. For instance, the diagonal legs of the hexagon are root 3, whereas the horizontal legs are I would want to work that out a little more carefully. Anyway, I'd want to make it something easy to zoop and a little better than 1.7 on some and 1.0 on some others. I think 1.7, 1.5 would work. But let's see where we're going next. I mean, all we've done is deliver something. We haven't actually looked at the next technologies. Hello, next technologies here. Here's 7. So we've got bauxite, which is aluminum. Yay! Aluminum factories are cool. They are complicated and intricate and interesting. So we've got all of this stuff we can do. Aluminum scrap. The aluminum factory is the first time you really have to deal with flow control. Okay? Excuse me, feedback flow. And there are several ways of doing it, and I've seen some comparisons of them. I fiddled around with what's called a VIP connector. There's a document out there, pipeline manual for Satisfactory. Really good. And the way it recommends doing a priority merge of fluids is to bring your raw input down. You got your feedback on the level. So you got your output of, say you've got output of water from one machine going into the input of an earlier machine. You need to keep that water flowing, but it's not going to be enough water. So you bring your new water in the top, and Satisfactory always takes from the bottom. Mostly works. Downside is even if you're really careful and you get it working perfectly, if you become input starved, then it can push itself into a deadlock condition where all of your factories have their outputs absolutely full and nobody can make any progress. And there are better ways of doing it. People have compared them and contrasted them, and they've found out several ways of doing it. One way is to use a filter. You can carefully tune with a valve how much new water is coming in, so there's always space for the old water. But the way I like to do it is I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of space, and I'm going to have some of my machines driven by the new water coming in. And their output is going to feed into the other set of machines, which use recycled water. And you gauge this so that you can take the output of the output water from all of the machines, feeds these machines feeds the recycled machines. What this means is if your input starves, eventually this drains. And when you start back up, the machines use fresh water to start up. And when they get going, they'll get going very, very fast. They'll start the other machines going. It take a while for the machines that run on recycled water to ramp up because their water inputs are going to have there. But it works, and it can't deadlock. Can it? Hold on. Are there conditions where that can deadlock? If the machines that are running on the recycled water and are recycling water on their output have a full output, if their water output is full and they can't run because their output is full, I think that deadlocks you. Okay, so even those are subject to a possible deadlock. I'm not sure how you would get to that condition. Those machines would have to build up their output. You'd have to fill their output, but the only way they can fill their output is by taking input. And they always take more input than they send output. Which means that they would have to be doing this in a condition where somebody else was dumping in. But we already know that the total input into that recycled pipe is exactly what they draw when they do I don't believe you can get to a situation where you are stopped up unless somebody like deletes a pipe. Anyway, let's see what we've got. We've got bauxite refinement, which allows us to do the aluminum factories, which I tend to obsess on. We've got hover packs, oh yes, which require aluminum. So we have to build aluminum before we start with this one. Logistics Mark V belts, up to 700, so we're at 480 now. This gets us up to 780 resources a minute. Oh yeah! Used to move resources between buildings, no kidding. And these all require aluminum to get started. Control system development allows us to make supercomputers, director assembly systems. Oh, that's one of the new parts. Okay. So this is a part that needs to go to the factory. Let's see, anything else that is building a new? There's hazmat suit. This allows us. I think we've already got the gas mask that allows us to go into the gas areas. Radiation. Okay, we have come across some radioactive area. This will allow us to go into the radioactive area. This gets us a part, and the blender. So the blender, this marks where I will be starting to think about the next kind of oil refinery. Now, what I'm going to use the blender for is diluted fuel. We could do diluted packaged fuel, and that would be the same basic overall recipe. I went over this last time, but that has a recycled step in it where I am I'm packaging water early in the process, and later in the process I'm unpackaging fuel, and I'm using the containers for unpackaging the fuel to package up the water. So we have this loop which involves containers flowing backwards through the production line. And I decided I wasn't going to mess with that, because once you get that working, then you never replace that with the blenders. We need 4 blenders instead of 6 refineries and 6 packagers and 6 packagers. So I'm holding off doing that great recipe until I get the blender. So that's going to be at the end of Tier 7. So Tier 8 used to be, Tier 8 was as far as we went in early access. And at the end of that, you sent off this stuff. I think these numbers were higher. I think I have to go check it. I never finished uploading Phase 4 in early access because I didn't want to just blow through the end of it. I wanted to wait until release. I think these numbers are lower because they were huge. What have we got? We've got drones. Drones are cool. I love drones. I did a whole nuclear factory in Update 8. In fact, I basically, the only thing my entire factory was doing was feed the nuclear power plant. And I used drones to move things all the way across the map. And it was really cool. Your power, which is a lot of fun to work with. Very early access, there wasn't a whole lot of uranium on the map. Don't know if they changed that. Advanced aluminum. So this gets us resource well pressurizer. So I've looked at some water and oil sources on the ground where it's like there's a central area and you mouse over it and it says such and such pure, and then there's cracks in the ground. And there's little sub areas where you can, well, you put one of these on the middle, and then you use the extractors on the outlying areas, and you can pick up a lot of resources. You now scan for water and oil and nitrogen if we couldn't before. We need to make fluid tanks so we can move nitrogen. Nitrogen's a gas. It's like water or oil, except that you don't need to pump it because it's a gas. Heat sinks, cooling systems, and fused modular frames. The fused modular frame is not what we're looking for to complete Phase 4. Sure what? Okay. Leading edge propulsion. Thermal propulsion rockets. That's the third one. So now we can make turbo motors. We can make miner Mark III, so this doubles our mining production again. Now, mind you, we'll have Mark V belts, so you don't have to do much to miner Mark IIIs to fill up a maximum size belt. In fact, I think there was grumbling that, oh, the belts are too small. I can't completely, totally overclock my miner. Come on. The miners are set up so you don't need to be on pure nodes to get decent outputs. Okay? Thermal propulsion rockets. Okay? And particle enrichment is as far as we go before we complete phase. What do we got? We can make nitric acid and package it. We can do we might want to delay making our nuclear reactor until we've got this. Because I remember that until you had the particle accelerator and a lot of the rest of this, there was the problem of dealing with nuclear waste because you can't just put it in the sink. Pressure conversion cubes look like they are needed. No, it's nuclear pasta that's needed in the. So we've got nuclear pasta. We've got thermal production rockets, thermal propulsion rockets. I am suspecting that when we do this delivery, we'll need just about every complicated bit of stuff that we can get. Okay, so that's the magnetic field generator. So we've got boom, boom. Okay, so most of these, it's like the parts for the elevator are kind of around. But it does look like our first step is to unlock bauxite refinement. We need computers and heavy modular frames and motors and rubber, and all of that is available trivially right now. I'm going to go get it, and we're going to go pick that up, and we're going to go start looking at how do we build an aluminum factory in actual release 1.0. We need computers. Hold on. That's like not very many of them. I can go down here and say, get me 2 stacks of computers. There we go. And I need 2 stacks of heavy modular frames. I need 5 stacks of motors. Well, I need 5 stacks of them, so I'm going to have to go back to where we're making motors. That over here somewhere. I think 5 stacks of motors. 5. Apparently I had some on me. Right. I picked up 50 motors so I could carve off the right number to finish that up. And then 500 rubber. Should have a box of rubber here. And we need 500, so that's 2.5 stacks. So let's go unlock this. Bauxite refinement. I remember finding bauxite up on the hill here. So there's a bauxite node. I also remember in earlier updates, I ended up putting my aluminum factory up here. So these 3 coal nodes are really very nice, 3 pure coal nodes. And with the water here, this was a great place to put a power plant. Down here, we had some coal and some iron, and this was a great place to put a steel plant. So I had iron and steel there in update 8. We're going to go drop some radars up there. Lucky you. Why is Data talking to me about that? I have noticed that if you turn on I use some advanced stuff in other playthroughs. I notice if I turn on the advanced options at all, some of the voiceover stuff just simply goes away. This is a non-modified, no advanced rules or playthrough. And I guess she isn't going to comment on the aluminum. It's too bad. So let's see. Do we have anything new we can produce? Wall outlets and double wall outlets Mark III. I picked those up at the store earlier. I didn't mouse over them. Pipeline pump Mark II. So we've got Mark II pipes. So we can double our pipe throughput. I have heard that Mark II pipes have a reputation for having bugs. If you run fluid systems close to their absolute limit capacity in Satisfactory, you're not going to have a good day. It can be done. It's fragile. People start noticing that they're getting just a little bit less throughput than they should get. They notice things like going through a floor hole causes problems, and so on, and so on, and so on. Well, I tend to like my fluid systems to be running with full pipes, but with flow rates that are slightly lower than their capacity. So instead of 600 cubic meters, I might budget for 540, 508. And I don't have problems when I do that. Okay, so the pump Mark IIs have 50 meters of head lift instead of the 20. So if we were lifting things up a long way, we would need 40% pumps. They're a bit pricey. They do take a couple of motors and a heavy modular frame, so we need to have the heavy modular frames just continue to chunk on into the depot there. As long as we get these guys produced into the depot faster than we use them. Now, if we've got a box out there, anything else new? New organization, nope. Transport. We unlocked the railway and the signals. I messed around with them a little bit, which is why these are all moused over. With the 5x5, I think I am ready to start thinking about using train stations to move stuff around. Oh, it's so tempting just to rip up everything and redesign everything from scratch. I want to. Keep all the boxes, delete everything else. Yarr. Foundations, we should have nothing new in foundations or walls or architecture. This is all just done. I'm not carrying any coupons, but is there anything new under the awesome shop I didn't unlock earlier? Let's see, clean pipelines. Mark II. Right. Have any textures to unlock? Nope. New foundation shapes? No. Wall shapes? No. I really should do this after I unlock a bunch of things, but I didn't do it after the recent set of unlocks, so yeah. And of course you can waste tokens on buying things. If you needed just one aluminum casing to finish off something major and you didn't have quite enough, maybe you got all but one of them from Rex, you could see doing it, but otherwise it's just better to wait until you can automate these. Specials. We haven't bought a factory cart yet. Golden Nut is what I want to eventually have in this base, which is why I'm not going to waste tickets. We have a lot of tickets now, but it gets slow and they're getting really expensive. So we're not going to be spending a whole lot. I mean, I will open up the clean Mark II pipes just because that's only one ticket, and I will enjoy having some of my pipes clean. Aluminum. So we need to get some bauxite. Oh, wait a minute. Should have some new recipes. Yeah. Some of our production items. Let's take a look. So aluminum is going to be. I don't really know where it's going to be. Let's set up a rogues gallery here. Come on, new constructor. Assembler, manufacturer, packager, refinery, so we are looking for anything that looks like a new recipe. Nope. Aluminum ingots. You may want to put this on fast forward while I'm doing this, or I could just do this later. Let's take a look at this by eye. I will do the copies later. So aluminum ingots. You bring in scrap aluminum and silica to make ingots. Okay, silica is a quartz product. Got it. Rest of this. So this is the new one. Is aluminum ingots. And that is in the foundry. Okay, constructors. Aluminum casing is new. So aluminum casing, you take 3 ingots, produces 2 casings. And is there anything else that is new? I did not spend anything to unlock these 2. They just opened. So the only thing new in here is the aluminum casing. Just 3 ingots becomes 2 casings. No byproducts or anything else. It's a constructor. Here we have all-clad aluminum sheets. And there's no other new things. We've had cheap silica available to it. So in theory, we could stretch our quartz by adding limestone to make cheap silica. Keep that in mind. There's our new aluminum sheet recipe. Start with the refinery here. All of this we had, but these 2 are new. So aluminous solution. Bauxite and water turns out alumina solution and silica. Okay. Alumina scrap takes alumina solution and coal, turns out scrap and water. So bauxite solution, scrap. And this guy produces water, and this guy consumes water. So there's some recycled water that comes back around. So this guy will use 180 water becomes 120 solution, and 240 solution becomes 120 water. So this is half of this. So 2 of the other machines to this one. So there's our water loop. And we will need some real water coming in on top of that. Any other action here? Manufacturer, do you have anything new that's related to aluminum? I don't see anything. Tempted to automate crystal oscillators. Problem is, right now I've got my quartz being mined up and turned into crystals and silica, which are available for me to bring in via the depot, but I don't have them belted in anywhere. So we may want to find some quartz that we can bring in with a train. We do have these pure quartz nodes up here. Oh, and we've got a or that's got to be in a cave. I think it's time for us to head east, get a couple radars out here, maybe one up on the hill and one over there. Too bad it doesn't show where my power plants are. But you had no renewal. You had two. And of course, we can, any fluid we've got now will appear over here. So we can package up and unpackage aluminum solution. We are not going to be doing that. I am not wanting to do the whole package unpackage loop until I have to. And I think the first time we're going to have to do that is where we have nitrogen, where we have to pump it, put it in nitrogen bottles, move it long distance, and then unpackage it. And we might just do that by running very, very long pipes. So time to go east and find our resources. Oh, let's get enough resources so that I know I can make some radar towers. Well, 5 radar towers. And we have plenty of stuff in the depot. I put a whole bunch of crystal oscillators in the depot. We're using up very quickly. If those run out, I have to actually run down to the crystal cave and get the crystals. It's not a huge thing, but I do have to just stand there and make crystal oscillators because I haven't even dropped a machine down for that. It might almost be worth it to put a manufacturer there at the crystal cave and just, run the materials out there, or put a manufacturer here. We're going to be expanding that direction anyway. I may find better quartz somewhere. It's not worried too much yet. Okay, so we are headed off that direction. And basically, I want to go to my farthest power, start thinking about where I'm putting my next radars. You see, I've already got a radar out there at the Katarian mission. That waterfall ahead of us is draining the lakes that are up in the coal area. So up there, there's some pure coal nodes. And like I said, I remember putting my aluminum factory up there. So I think if we head up that direction, there may in fact be some bauxite accessible from up there. Let's stay at ground level for a bit. Not sure I want to go to the effort of setting a power grid higher than the existing one. I don't know, maybe the next level up is where we do the hexagonal stuff. I'll have to work out the math. For that, I would want to look up what the actual range is on these guys, and then verify it in game, and then lay out the hex grid and work out how to put that in place. So here we are at the middle of a radar, and I've sent power that direction. I want to head out that way for the next one. Now, as I was setting these radars up before, it was every 3rd station in a row. I think at one point I did 2 over and 1 across for the next radar. I put one, I go north and then go east. That might give us some decent coverage. I'd like to go higher. So we maybe can see what's up here. Although, going one east and two south and up. Two east and one south and up. I don't want to. We'll go two north and one east. So when I put this power lines in at this level, I thought this was nice and high. But you see, there's still terrain higher than me. This is a good level for the valley floor of the, yeah. So from here, we could head directly east. Head that way. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go one more north, two power lines. Should be good. Good boat. And we're just going to lay these out, get the foundations in place, and then we'll run all the power. So I've come from there, I've come north, one east, so this will be about here. Yeah. I could even go one further, which would get me a better read on what's going on over here. Yeah, okay. Keep making these big, long strides across the landscape. Now we're getting over towards where I historically placed my steel factory, which is down in this valley here. This is probably a good place for us to think about putting our next radar. I'm going to put it in place here, and I'm going to run power back. Before I had radar on. Entered that way, entered that way. He's not going to work until we get him power. We can climb up this ladder in the middle. Didn't do this in the other ones. I just kind of placed him and powered him and set him and got him. Change the geometries. Ladder stops here. Oh, there's our... Okay. Always a little nervous making. I have a jetpack now. I shouldn't be nervous. For some reason, being on the top of a tower like this, where you can look down the tower, gives me more of a sense of being high in the air than flying or being at the top of a power tower that's suspended. Top. And that is the range, so that's going to cover most of what we're interested in. And I think we'll do another tower out this direction eventually. Until we're ready to start emigrating to the east, I think this is good. And there's our whole area over there. So from the top of the tower, we can see the flat area up there. So let's get the power going. How do I get back out here? To power. Notice I'm always using the platform version. They cost the same resources, and this one I've got more utility on it. I can walk up this one. I can't walk up that one. I am not sure if there's any reason to ever use the one that doesn't have the platform on it other than aesthetics. Maybe if you're making a blueprint and the platform gets in the way, or you make a blueprint and you want to emphasize that this is not one you climb, maybe you do that. I don't know. Let's see. Turn it diagonally. Legs on the right thing. Just to reiterate something I think I've mentioned before, the reason why I turn it diagonally is because I don't want to be dragging the power off parallel to that, because that would make the two wires overlap each other. If I turn it this way, it means I can take the power off north, south, east, and west. Something I'm going to have to bear in mind if I put these on a hex grid is what direction do I turn this so that I can take three wires off at roughly 120-degree angles. And it's almost like I believe the ladder would have to face one of my prime directions, and the other ones will just be perilously close to parallel with him. So I am reconsidering whether I want these on the vertices of a hexagonal. Put the next one down, I grab the wire from there, and we run back. Carefully line this up so that all four legs are on seams. And we pop again. Next one. He's in place. That just connects onto him. Now we need to get rid of these temporary foundations that I used for spacing. It is too bad I can't hang from the wire and pick up these foundations at the same time. So with Control and Shift and W all held down, I can't also crouch. I don't think jumping gets me there faster. It's that slide jump that speeds you up. And what I forgot to do at this end, I neglected to connect power radar. You pull your power. Here's our radar display. And we can see that our other radars were not showing us everything that was here. So we now see all sorts of coal down here. You can see our copper and iron are the same as ever. And we have limestone. And then over on the other side, we have limestone and we have iron. Now, I had heard that this starting area here was reworked significantly. We're not going to be heading that far yet. But this does mean we have potential for a steel factory down here. I do see some sulfur coal. And we have bauxite up here. I think I need to actually go up to top there and put in power up to the top and radar up to the top. Which means putting another power tower up there. Vertical, 10 meters. Where did I go high once? 10 meters? 10 meters is not going to be. I want to go 30 meters tall. Let's go 30. Since we're using 30 meters as our 30 foundations as our separation there, this is actually half as many meters. It's going to be 30 by 4 instead of 30 by 8. And let's get us a ladder so we can climb all the way up to the... We're actually going to be placing our upper layer of power higher than the tops of our radars. That's probably a good idea. So we're still not above all of the terrain here. But we are high enough that we can do the thing. And sneak a look down there and yes, I can. Hey! Is this guiding me to put it over? Entered right there. Oh, right. It's because I wasn't at both of the wires. I was only at one wire. Is that correct? That is correct. Now the weakness here is I can't take a zip line all the way up. So you, down there, you're going to continue the power out west. This is going to continue power out north and south. I guess I'm not going to do the hexagonal thing with the power. I'm going to leave this block up top. I'm going to get rid of the... No, let's leave the stack here. I need to have something so I can get up, and this ladder is probably the... Okay, power that way. Go directly south. I think what I'm going to do is stay at this level, do what I can to get over to I think heading southeast. So 2 south and 2 east. And we're still not going to be terribly high above that. Do the same thing here with running our power. Pedestals first. Put the mount points in. This is just in case I decide that I want slightly different geometry. Also, in case I find out that I counted. Corner mile. Yeah, I am rethinking this. I'm thinking instead of coming up there, I'm going to come out. Power pilot. Yep, let's continue eastward until we can come strictly south to which means 2 more power pylons east. And we'll go up, and then we'll head south. I think we're going to head 40, 50 up instead of 30. Goes away. Now, the easy way to take this stuff down is to switch to parachute. Gotta have coffee cup when you do parachute stuff. I think all hanging from the parachute, which is a fairly stable platform. construction. Now, I wonder if I can my spacers in from above here. Can't reach it. Okay. 20. Are we far enough? Let's go one. This is kind of an obvious place to go. Now we have this old big tree here. So I am going to grab my chainsaw, depot, solid biofuel. Hello. Hey. Back to the coffee cup and our and make sure I'm getting to the ground, not putting a block where I won't be able to delete it later. I think I'm going to move the radar from there over. So that radar is going to be on that corner. Put it. And we're going straight up. So the tower. And now we bring power out. I'm going to delete that radar tower. You can give the radar tower just names. You notice I've got one up there called Pure Iron Heaven the far one, and we've got radar tower being the near one. It's tempting to arrange it so that your radar towers are not in lines, but there's always some place you can stand. Any two radar towers will be places you can stand where they're in line. Hey. I have my jetpack on. The other thing is, if you have your jetpack on and you have solid fuel, the jetpack will use the inferior solid fuel. What you need to do is you put your jetpack on that, drop your solid fuel in the uploader, drop your chainsaw in the uploader, jetpack, it will proper fuel. I think this recording is mostly a unlock the next phase and ponder and explore rather than a start to build the aluminum factory. We're going to have to plan that out, and that's going to take some essentially spreadsheeting. And you now power. And we now see that there's some crude oil up here and with some iron. We can see that there is some SAM up here. Ooh, I didn't expect that. Probably in a cave. Like this guy is probably in a cave. He's probably in a cave. Got sulfur in case we want to start mass producing black powder and such. I don't need too much of that really yet. We got more deuterium. So now we need to head south, and I want to put our next up there. So I say I want to go up 50. There, we're going to go vertical. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up 10 at a time, setting up ladders. I can see what I'm. That's not good. Need to fix that ladder over. So let's side on it. We'll work back and forth. It's 10. That's going to be 20. HUD elements right at the aim point is not a good idea. Really. I just realized by putting it on this face, I've guaranteed that I can't use descent. Next one over. That's up to 30 plus. There. At the edge. That looks good. That was 30. 40. Ten, 20, 30, 50. This is a long way up. Really get that aimed. So we're going to be 200 meters above the previous one. Just did that first time. And I hope power line stretches from there to here. Get a vantage point. So my normal thing there is 32 foundations. 32 by 8. 56. But we should still be able to stretch the power. That we can't do, however, is actually connect to the power. We are too far away from it to connect to it. Okay. What I'll do is I will place a power at the top, and then we'll jump down on the parachute. I think that's the same ring. As long as it's set up on lines like that, we're good. Although if we're turned 90 degrees, it'll twist our power lines that go. Turn to 180 do the power lines cross. Shoot. Let's take down some of this crap. We still need our ladders to be able to get back up here. Power at the top. Put our radar tower at the top. as long as we're doing something hot. Maybe in the future I will relocate all of my powers to this height. Of my, it means dropping power down to the floor there. Oh, it would mean dropping power to the floor is here. We're here. Power tower. Square. Easy. Radar tower. Station. Power. Where did I just put that? Power to you. And this should be a slightly farther scan range. I think it is. We had these limestone out here. So yeah, having our radar towers to the side is very nice, but I don't want to be moving all of my power, or every time I need to drag power down to a factory on the valley floor, it's a pain. We still need to clean those up and come back up here. Did. I explored up there briefly, and I left behind a workshop. That's Sam, right out there in the middle. We can start automating stuff with SAM ore. There's 3 coal area there, and I believe we saw a bauxite area somewhere. So let's do this. I have my parachute on in case. Long walk back. Let's use instead. There's one. We're going to go over until we're basically centered over this crater lake. About right. Time to bring the power. There we go. So we see we have some pure bauxite there, some normal over there. Oh, there's our quartz cave down that direction. I'm wondering if maybe what I ought to do, instead of a train line running this direction, collecting up the bauxite and bringing it in so we have a bauxite train. Well, we'll work that out in the future. Need to find the nodes first and make sure I can reach them. $608 meters that way, 800. That's not undoable in that direction. You need to bring some explosives and deal with the gas. I like the idea though of bringing that much. Long range transfer by belt. How do I really feel that? Is there a mining at? I have no idea what color bauxite is. Oh, wait a minute. I have some colors. Hold on. Documents. We have colors. I have two different color charts. PD7660. Let's highlight it. Distance. Charge on. It's over there. I wonder, it could be kind of an adventure, just bringing a belt of bauxite around. Yeah. Ultimately, this could be the excuse to finally do trains. Like a long belt but a short train. 600 meters. I'm gonna belt it. Okay, let's pick up our junk stuff on the way back. Oh, do I want to bring this downward? We do. So let's put on our parachute. Give us some downward. Set for control. If I set up my hotbars correctly, I could have put a ladder on this as well. Didn't want to be fumbling around as I got lower and lower. Fumbling around. Short of the ground so I can make sure that my blocks don't go too far. Well, hello there, Mr. Fluffy. Hello there, Mr. Slug. Need to get some Summers loops together and do my slug crafting with Summers loops. I got X number of power shards out of it. So the trick I want to do with power, I want there to be a power pole here. Let's zoop 10 of you guys out. You two. Each of those cubby holes is going to get a power. power line. Oh, I can go lower here. Put it deep. And we're going to need our jetpack. So the real ladder is going to this side. That doesn't, guys. Almost want instead. Work the next level. Get to it. The ladder's in top down, so their top edge is correct instead of on one. I need that guy. Ladder here, ladder. This guy. Correct ladder. Should have just done this coming down from the top. There, you have a ladder. Back up. Do the next set of 10. So from here, let's not do. And stop it. descend. We'll still have to come back to fill in the hole there. This level. Shoot. Down. It leaves us with everything buttoned up. Our hole. Buttoned up there. Yes, we did. Stand. And this time, what is put it in there. That's actually the ladder that I want to be right anchor points. The rest of this ladder goes away actually. Because they're all not quite right vertical. Noticed that as I was coming up. Things weren't lining up. On so that it's proper. And then climb the ladder all the way to see if I can drag the power up. Have it. You actually go here, where I keep talking about building a whole room. Up, we have a ladder, have a power running down the middle of it. Have lots and lots of water available for aluminum. Actually have some explodey bits too. I blow up the yes, I have explosives on. Go blow some things up. Oh. Gosh, forgot this was here. Do that from the parachute, but I can't do it from the head. I see some things that can be exploded. I don't know if I need explosive each. And what was there was purple slug. And if I use Summer's loops to do it, it will turn into 10 power shards. Wow, that didn't kill him outright. I don't want to be spending too much of my explosives. Bunch of gatherables around the lake. Sam out in the middle, which I will automate production from. Odie. Odie. I'm going to build a foundation. What do you have under you? There. Probably just another power slug. Okay, we do this the hard. Oh, I can. There's anything else important here, but I'm up anyway. Get one. You get one. You get one. This can't just be something that's supposed to soak up my obelisks. Okay, these rocks are not. Either they're already blown up, server, two more. Good. The reason why I'm doing that is I'm going to want to be putting a lot of water extractors out here. Shard. Okay. I think we have. And right here, I need to put an explosive. I can't explode him. Please explain where it's putting the explosive. Okay. Work that out when I have to cover the entire lake with. We also want to let some time go by so that the stuff that's going to be spawning, spawn anything left overall. So I came up here to look at the coal behind a workstation. Bam. Those sulfurs probably. What is interesting about this? Well, I'm not doing a lot of combat. I don't need to worry about that. I don't know what's down here. To open these up just so I can see what's going on. Turbo fuel is going to be important. Compacted coal, and that requires a disk drive. Okay, so we need to put in a gunpowder installation at some point. No rush, but at some point. I think it's time to minute. Oh, there's drill beat stuff I now have automated, but still. When I get back, I'll be emptying my inventory to the sink, and that'll be good. Needs 120 megawatts. Well, we've got energy up there. Come on, let's go. Oh, I put him one level higher than I. Yeah. Oh. Nope. What? Should have electricity here. We have another disk drive. Yay! So bauxite. All of my bauxite is like way up there. I'm wondering if maybe I should go out to the east here and see if this is a better place for a bauxite factory. So I'm going to move you, place a marker. They're going to go back. Now I'm just going to run there. You haven't run across the landscape. Before I start building out in that direction, I'm going to look at the area and see what it's like for building. I have built up in this Crater Lake area before. And nice. Hello. Be kind of painful if I didn't have everything impressive. Still going to be irritating. Come in crouched and maybe avoid having to deal with flies at all. Holding down the C button. So literally these guys are going to spawn. Whether I island's too small, long range is too long. But if I stay crouched, they won't spawn more. Sure. They're not attacking me, I'm just kind of running into them. They're there and they're hovering around. Whatever. We'll heal. I've got some pippies. And if I see a doggo, I friend the doggo. Drop pod wants some of my plastic. I've got plenty of plastic. Hey! So here we are. We're headed towards there. Apparently there's cliffs between us and there. According to the map. But I could go around. Get rid of our view list. Let's see what I've got in the way of other tapes. Ooh, guess what we've got. I need to unlock you. Cover her. Cover up. Some of the goodies. I'm not going to worry about the beans. That's awesome. 54 circuit boards. Score. Bauxite's over that way. So up that waterfall. Okay. And I see another Mercer sphere. Oh, good.
Look through the window and witness a threat.
Way to deal with these. Oof. We were headed up here. You'll stop and get the sulfur on the way. I'll have to break pretty soon to get some more coffee. Crouch. Switch to weapons. Deal with little e-buggers. I go back and forth on whether I want to deal with them or not. I don't know if these guys, I don't know if the stealth, crouch stealth works on the Hufflepuff hogs or not. He had 5 remains. Now, all of these animal parts, I can put a Summers loop on the constructor, double the amount of protein, and then from the protein, double the amount of DNA. So they are very good sources of DNA capsules. Staying crouched, but jumping works. And we got a yellow slug. We're still headed toward the bauxite. That looks like a power slug. Cool. And explodey rocks over there. I think most of the exploration I've done in the game has been off camera. Sometimes I will just wander around places like this and poke my nose into all the nooks and crannies and see if I can find Summers loops and Mercer spheres and power slugs. Anything else I can have that might be useful. stand next to them. These are not. There we go. Switch to handy dandy. Is there any reason to go out there? Any reason to go out? No, it's just him. So we're looking around this little lake. Good source of water. Bits of water around. This is normal bauxite. Somewhere. If all I need is bauxite and water, this is the place. I need to bring my power over to here. Oh, and there's a lot of water up there. Okay, so the coffee situation is dire. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go pour some coffee. I'm going to leave it paused while I just run the power out. It's going to be just more of the same. Bringing power and radar down here. I like this place, I really do. But I'm going to reserve it for doing something with Sam and coal. Oh, Sam, coal and sulfur. Well, the coal and the sulfur, that says explosives to me. I want to think about the aluminum. I'm also going to gather some recipes and start thinking about the aluminum factory. Come back when I'm ready to do that. I will see you then. Yeah, I'm just going to call this a recording. I will start a new recording once I'm ready to start building a bauxite-based aluminum factory right over here. See ya.